should be on all my channels already, man. I'm tripping because this picture really got me, bro. When I see this photo, I was like, what in the funk? Straight up and down, man. Dang, it kind of sums it up pretty good, don't it? So now the missile's coming back. Nothing not for you is behind Thump, and he's holding the Saudi Arabian prince. I'm like, yo, look, and the money is on fire because they burning through money behind this little bullshit war, right? Whoever the cartoonist was, I think he nailed it with this one, dog, on record, right? But no, let's go and let's take another look at some of this other stuff, though, man. We know what's going on. Did y'all know about this right here? The Army has raised its enlistment age to 42. I think it was 35 at first. It's 42 now, and removes waivers for minor marijuana cases. So they're not tripping on the reefer smokers. You know why? Because they're gonna need black and brown bodies to throw at this war. They have to do an arm. They gotta do a ground invasion. It's not gonna work. They can't. They've done what they can do with bombs, and Iran is just pounding them back. We've destroyed their military. We destroyed their navy. It's at the bottom of the sea. Why y'all ain't driving y'all ass in that state of Hormuz then? Why y'all ain't just going and driving on through there? Real talk. On some real stuff, man. It was too late. This is one of the reasons I don't trust brothers who shave their beards off. They're supposed to be men of God. Here I've integrated my people into a burning house. I low-key think you knew, bruh. The information that came out about my man since these days, man, he low-key look like a plant, bro. And I'm just keeping it 400. But we finna get off into these videos, man. We got a couple of videos and some short ones, some longer ones. But basically right now, we finna get a breakdown on some information. For all my black folks out there that got their mouths on these podcasts, I just heard a dude earlier talking about, you think if Iran shoot a missile over here, they gonna skip over the black people? I don't know, bro. They've been pretty precise with their missiles, yo. They've been hitting exactly what they want to hit in the Middle East and nothing else. All the bombs they've sent to Qatar and to Kuwait and to Israel, well, Israel don't really count, but to Qatar, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, all the other Muslim nations that have sided with the United Snakes of Amnesia against them, they haven't blew up not one school, man. They haven't blew up not one school full of babies, full of little girls. This war, like Ben Stepiro says, it's war, people are gonna die in war. Shut up, devil. If that's the case, where is the Israeli ground troops that's getting ready to deploy into Saudi Arabia, into Iran? Where y'all at? Yeah, something like that. Yeah, man, let's get off into these here videos, man, because I want y'all to see what I've been seeing. You can't see what I can't see. Now, y'all remember this video from the last video. I'm gonna run it by y'all again just to get y'all back in the mood. We're gonna do a recap right quick. What does the scripture say? And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from God enters into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them, which saw them. Powerful scripture for dealing with what's going on in the world right now. Doubt. Let's keep going.
I was interviewing a guy one time, and he started talking about the Black Israelites.
I know you from somewhere, right? You know, news, yeah, you studied what is it? You know about us.
We're the real Jews. And
okay, we're the descendants of Jacob.
Like somebody talked about him. Yeah, he said, you know who we are. You speaking there, you're a very intelligent man, Huck. But let's keep listening because he did run into across some of the brothers, and there's a full like 17-minute video if you want to look it up of him speaking with the Israelites about their beliefs, and he's a strong Christian. So all you Christian folk, y'all can't deny what the scriptures say, and that's what they did. They hit him with scripture.
Jacob was a black man. Abraham was black. All right. Isaac, his son, was black.
I was like, you know,
So if you're an Edomite, there's nothing you can do.
There's nothing you can go to slavery. That's the only thing you can do.
That's only right, man.
We were enslaved under you.
and it wasn't on camera, but I was like, I don't. It was so far out to me that
We didn't have a choice.
Well, provided that you're an Edomite. If you're an Edomite, then you're going into slavery.
I was like, we'll never kind of understand.
He is bluffing. That man went home that day, got his book and opened it up and started reading into the scriptures they had brought out, and it led him to a certain conclusion.
During Tucker Carlson's kind of contentious conversation / debate with U.S. Ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee, the topic of land rights came up. Obviously, that's usually front and center when it comes to the ongoing conflict between Israel and pretty much everyone else in the region. And so in order to justify the mass slaughter campaigns and land theft from Palestinians, Israelis claim that they're, the original Israelites from the Bible and that they have a biblical right to that land. So Tucker Carlson challenged Huckabee on that. Let's take a look.
Abram's descendants are the ones who have the right to have this land, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Why don't we do genetic testing on everybody in the land and find out who Abram's descendants are? It's really simple.
Uh-oh. I'm sorry, Mr. Tuck. I know you give a tuck, but not as simple as you making it out to, big dog, because according to the folks over there, DNA testing ain't legal. They're afraid that this might come out. Yeah, Cyrus the Great. It spells him the Great, but Cyrus the Great, you see him there, he's addressing those folks there. Who are those people there? It's the real Jews. Look at the people. Look at the dark bronze skull, the different shades of bronze you see over there. Book of Jeremiah says the Jews are black unto the ground. I think Tucker went in there and he came across some of them other scriptures, man, and it gave him quite a jolt. So his conversation with Mr. Huckabee in this particular section is quite interesting.
Simple. We've cracked the human genome. We can do that. Why don't we do that? Would you be against doing that?
I have no idea what that would prove. I mean, maybe it would be.
What do you mean? It would prove who Abram's descendants are and who has a right to live here and who doesn't, according to the theology that you yourself just explained. And so I'm very confused as to why we don't do that. If you believe the theology that you've just explained to me.
Would we do that all over the world?
Well,
and everybody
this is the only country in the world that you've said has this covenant with God, that this people have a moral and legal right to the land.
What about people who convert to Judaism? Would they have a right?
No, they wouldn't have the right. They wouldn't have the right to go into a country.
Yes, and she's absolutely right about that. They would, because you can't convert to a bloodline, to a heritage. This is something that was made up by the people who surely have inherited lies from their fathers. Let's go to the next video. That's just a recap from yesterday. And if you ain't itching a little bit, check out this next one.
You can't afford to buy a home
because $8 trillion of your money was spent fighting Israel's enemies in the Middle East.
Iraq, Iran, and Libya are racing to develop nuclear weapons.
That same $8 trillion could have bought over 34 million homes at $250,000 each. And if a family of 4 lived in each home, 132 million Americans could have had free housing. But Zionists had other priorities for your money.
You are wondering whether you can afford to have another child because childcare is so expensive. Meanwhile,
your tax dollars fund free childcare in Israel for every Israeli child. That's one reason Israel's birth rate is higher than America's. Americans are subsidizing Israeli families while struggling to start their own.
And if you objected, if you had the audacity to ask why your children were being disinherited in your country,
they will call you an anti-Semite.
That's why people
That's that Ali jab. He's anti-Semitic. It's like I know certain hoods that when they used to yell they hood out, they used to feel like everybody supposed to get scared. That's what this remind me of. He's anti-Semitic. Like everybody supposed to, ooh, man, get the fuck out the hood with that weak shit.
people are so angry about.
Work a job that you likely hate and have a portion of your earnings taken from you by our federal government and funneled to the Israeli government so they can commit atrocities in the Gaza Strip. Are you okay with that? Because I'm not okay with that. And nothing gets under my skin more, okay, than hearing these pieces of crap.
And then spit in our faces.
You see these videos of Christians, priests with crucifixes around their necks getting spit on in Jerusalem.
Jewish men and children spitting on
Christian worshipers.
A small child spit on one of the pastors.
We should have never.
Before we get off into the line orange, man, hey, on some real stuff, man. These are the people that the United States is getting ready. That kicked off a whole war with ancient Persia behind. They walking around spitting those so-called Christian folk. This world is crazy, man. What the heck? This ain't it. Oh no, this is not my video. We gonna switch real quick till we get this fixed. Okay, shrink that down. I didn't got it to my system or something. I don't know. You don't like what you talking about there. What are you speaking on that there? All right, we coming back. Video. Thing I don't like. Start all of it over from scratch. Itchy and scratchy. Good to skip through throughout the sound. Oh. And go and stop here. Hey, but check this out. That's a good thing to stop. You can look at this picture again. Yeah, we in a burning house, yo. This place is not don't got that much longer to go on me. But yeah, man, let's get up into this. What did the orange man say back in the day? Oh, dang it. I forgot I muted it. Take it back. Go.
Never been in Iraq. We have destabilized the Middle East.
Wow. What a smart, reasonable man. Let's see what more he has to say.
The war in Iraq, we spent $2 trillion, thousands of lives. We don't even have it. Our president will start a war with Iran because he has absolutely no ability to.
You dumb son of a bitch! You dumb son of a bitch!
Shut up, Meg. Shut up, Meg. Shut up, Meg.
Shut up, bitch! Shut up, bitch! Shut up! Shut up, bitch!
You believe the shit coming out of his mouth right now? Look at what he's saying and look at what my boys to say. I listen to what you say, but I watch what you do. Everybody heard what you said, but look what the fuck you did. The devil, the Bible speaker, he ain't no different than none of the other presidents.
Negotiate. He's weak and he's ineffective. So the only way he figures that he's going to get reelected, and as sure as you're sitting there, is to start a war with Iran. Great nations do not want to fight endless wars. They lied. Okay. They said there were weapons of mass destruction. There were none, and they knew there were none. There were no.
Shut up, Meg.
Now your ass is lying.
Shut up, bitch!
Now you lie. You said they lie. Look, hey, if y'all can find a chink in armor, show me a president that wasn't a warmongering son of a bitch in the United Snakes of amnesia history. Show me one.
Weapons of mass destruction.
Okay. So I'm seeing an anti-war, against foreign intervention, a man who funds himself. This seems like a very good president. Now, this was many, many years ago. But surely this man, who seems to be intellectual, smart, reasonable, surely he didn't just switch up on his sentiments, right?
I'm going to bomb the shit out of him. True. I don't care. And
that's real talk. He don't care on me.
this had to be done. They were very close to a nuclear weapon. The regime already had missiles capable of hitting Europe and our bases, both local and overseas, and would soon have had missiles capable of reaching.
Shut up, bitch! Shut up, bitch! Shut up, bitch!
Our beautiful America.
Never mind.
Just like that, right? Just like that. That they say what they call it in politics, walk it back. They call it, you need to walk it back. Now, this is the video I really want y'all to see. For all of my black folks out there that think that we supposed to be somehow upset with Iran for some, can't think of what possible fucking reason black people in America are supposed to be upset with Iran. But in case you are one of them black folks that don't know nothing about history, let's get off into this history lesson right quick. Check it out.
Okay, one of the most insane historical facts has got to be when Iran took a bunch of American hostages in 1979, but then decided to free all the black hostages and the women. Why did Iran do this, you ask? Well, first we got to go back a little bit to why Iran took hostages in the first place. And when you understand this, you also understand why Iran and the USA don't really like each other to this day. You see, Iran had a problem. You see, back before the 1950s, Iran's oil industry was basically completely taken over by the United States and Britain. Iran was barely getting a share of their oil. Iran said, knock, 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 hello, United States, Britain, can we have our oil back? United States and Britain said, who said we got your oil? Iran said, boy, we're not stupid out here. We see y'all scamming us. United States and Britain said, you got us, and we not finna lie, but we not giving your oil back though, for real. So Iran voted in a new prime minister that took back Iran's oil. The United States said, ooh, we can't have that. Call in the CIA. The CIA pulls up, that boy gone. The United States brings in a new guy, the Shah, and he's very friendly towards the United States. Iran said, who the, yo! The Shah said, look, y'all didn't even give me a chance for real. Yeah, fast forward 20 years later, he gave away all of Iran's oil and had very oppressive policies towards the people. The people of Iran said, time's up. The Shah said, time's up. Boy, you know what I got behind me? Big dog United States. The Iranian people said, all right, let's see if they get to you in time. The Iranian people rose up and started hunting them down. The Shah said, oh, them folk tripping. He calls the United States. He said, yo, them folk trying to get me. The United States said, chill, we're going to get an airplane. We're going to come pick you up. We can't let our assets, our friends, suffer. The Shah gets on a plane and he dips. He said, I'll see y'all folk in the States. The people of Iran looked at the United States and said, bring back the Shah. The United States said, no, the Shah is sick. We can't give him to you right now. Iran said, we got hospitals here and jails. Bring him over. The United States said,
they got hospitals and jails. Real talk. They wanted the Shah back. That's the only thing they wanted.
No. And we still gonna take your oil because we're gonna bring in a new guy to still take your oil. This was the last straw for Iran.
United Snakes of Amnesia is a goddamn oil junkie. No different than a heroin addict or a crystal meth head. They will rob, steal, unalive, grape. They'll do everything that's illegal when it comes to acquiring somebody's oil. Not just because they need it. America got plenty of states that produce a whole lot of oil. They got an issue with their potential adversaries having fuel for their war machine to basically be able to confront them on any level at some point one day. That's what it's all about.
College students stormed the United States embassy and take everybody hostage. They said, bring back the Shah. The United States said, release the hostages. What are your demands? Iran said, well, they're pretty reasonable. 1, we want the Shah back. 2, we want you to leave us and our oil alone. The United States said, no. If there's something you got to know about the United States of America, is it's very hard to negotiate with. The United States wants it all at all times. They said, hostage, y'all gonna have to hold it down. The hostage said, United States said, counter offer, we keep the Shah, we keep the oil, and you give us the hostages. Iran's new supreme leader, Khomeini, said, look at my face. Do I look like I'm finna play with y'all? Give us back the, hold on. Are those black people? Now here's where things start to get wicked. Khomeini looked at the black hostages and said, don't the United States be like oppressing y'all and messing with y'all too? Black people said, well, Khomeini said, oh no, y'all are free to go. Plus the women, y'all are free to go. The white hostages said, Jamal, ain't you gonna put in a good word for me? He said, my name's Eric. And Andre, we're not here to argue about semantics. This is a serious situation. Go talk to them folk. Put in a good word for me. Black people said, all right, give us your number. I'm gonna call you on my iPhone. We're gonna put in a good word. Phones haven't been invented yet. Black people said exactly. Call me when they get invented. Oh, them folks dipped. Except a black man named Carl. Now, I don't know if this is him, but this picture goes with what I'm saying. You see, Carl was a Marine, but he was also a radio operator in the Marines. So he was privy to very sensitive information. Carl said, okay, we packing our bags, we going. They said, Carl, you can't come. I said, y'all seen my skin color, right? They said, yeah, Carl, but you privy to info. You're going to have to hold it down. Carl said, ain't this about it? So after the black hostages and the women were released, the white hostages and Carl had to wait 2 years until they got released. And in these 2 years, there was a bunch of back and forth between the USA and Iran. All hell was breaking loose. The USA was in a really tough spot. It couldn't give up that sweet, sweet oil. So it didn't want to negotiate with Iran. And it also, the USA also didn't want to look weak in front of the world stage. But on the flip side, the American people were getting very impatient. They were like, excuse me, American people are being held hostage abroad. The government said, we want that oil. But what the US was actually saying was the excuse that they loved to use before they started using the word terrorism. They used the word communism. They said, look, Iran is probably going to fall to communism. So even though they want us to leave them alone, we can't really leave them alone. The American people said, all right, that makes sense. So the American people started targeting Iranian Americans in the United States, saying, where are the hostages? The Iranian Americans like, I'm from Sacramento, I don't know. So the American people got pissed again, because at this point it had been like a year since the hostages were kept in Iran. So everybody looked back at Jimmy Carter, the president. This man, Jimmy Carter, was stressed because he was
Jimmy.
Very anti-war, so he didn't want to send troops in. So he was forced to try to get hostages out low-key. He sent in the CIA, and they were able to get out some hostages who weren't rounded up with the initial bunch inside the embassy. And this is actually what the movie Argo was about. Oh, Bryan Cranston's in this movie? But when Khomeini found out that the CIA was sneaking hostages out, he said, okay, bet. He took all the hostages and moved them to a more secure location, a prison. The American people looked at Jimmy Carter. Look at this man. This man looks stressed on every picture.
Oh, me. Jimmy supposed to have been known for his smile. Was supposed to, they say he smiled his way into the presidency. Well, Iran wiped that smile away and it never came back during the rest of his term.
Google, he said, send in the troops. He had to break his anti-war policy and decided to send in soldiers to take back the hostages by force. But everything was going wrong for the U.S. Army. Their helicopters were just malfunctioning and crashing. They couldn't even get close. The Army then tried another operation, malfunction after malfunction. They just couldn't get it going. The American people looked at Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter finally made a deal with Iran, basically saying, okay, we're going to leave you alone. Just release the hostages. Iran didn't get the Shah because the Shah actually passed away. And side note, since Jimmy Carter took so long to get the hostages released, Reagan used that against him to get elected over Jimmy Carter, and Reagan then ruined the world. But that's a story for
real talk. Reagan fucked shit up bad, man. All time. Nah, man, I think they took care of Reagan. I think Reagan knew too much.
Another day. Side note, to Jimmy Carter's credit, even though he lost the election, he still worked on getting the hostages until his last day in office. In fact, he got the hostages released on his last day in office.
See, I played this video because I wanted y'all to understand that the history between so-called black people in America and Iran, they're well aware of our situation and what our condition has been in this country and how we've been treated and dealt with in this country. Case in point, listen to this video.
من قبل از آنی که سخنرانی خودم رو شروع کنم، چون امروز سال و روز شهادت مالکوم ایکس، رهبر سیاهان مسلمان آمریکاست، از حضار محترم خواهش میکنم حمد و قل هو اللهی برای روح اون شهید بخوانیم.
Yeah, tremendous respect for Malcolm. They put his face on a postage stamp, I think like 30 years before the United States did. I know it was a long time before America even recognized to do anything like that. They did it in Iran.
In our book, the Quran, as you call it, Quran, teaches us to suffer peacefully. Our religion teaches us to be intelligent, be peaceful, be courteous, obey the law, respect everyone. But if someone puts his hand on you, send him to the cemetery. An eye for an eye, and a tooth for a tooth, and a head for a head, and a life for a life. That's a
See, this is why Malcolm had to go. That whole by any means necessary, everything in nature will defend itself. They can have that.
resents that kind of religion being taught by one who intends to make you his mate. That's a good religion.
Am I the only one that didn't know about the incredible story of... As we examine his reign, we reveal the mysteries of his impact on the Jewish people. Subscribe to Taleforge TV.
He didn't mean to say Jewish people. That was a fake. That was not what he meant to say. He just meant to say the Jews. You see, because he's talking about these folks that Cyrus the Great really released. He got out of Babylonian bondage. Those are the people he's talking about. So he meant to say Jews, not Jewish. So whenever you hear him mention the that term, just keep in mind he's talking about these people here, the people with skin that look like it was like bronze burned in a furnace and hair like wool, who are black unto the ground, according to the prophet Jeremiah. Yeah, that's some real liars in this world. A whole lot of lies, man. Our parents inherited lies.
TV for more fascinating historical insight. A ruler like no other, whose actions would shape history. Unlike many rulers before him, Cyrus treated conquered people with remarkable compassion and respect. This approach, unheard of at the time, formed the bedrock of his vast empire. Cyrus...
These are the ancient Iranian people, my dear people. These are the Persians, who the real Jews are indebted to them for the kindness of their king when we were in the Babylonian captivity. You know, Daniel, Jeremiah, Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego, the whole fiery furnace, the whole lion's den thing. Yeah, those people. Understand? So if this is true, what are the Ish people doing over there attacking these people who are the descendants of that great king, his kingdom?
Cyrus understood that true strength lay not just in military might, but also in the loyalty of his subjects. He allowed conquered nations to retain their customs, religions, and even local rulers. This policy of tolerance not only fostered peace, but also contributed to the empire's stability and prosperity. Cyrus's reign marked a significant shift in ancient Near Eastern politics. He replaced oppression with tolerance, brutality with wisdom. Understand the profound influence of Cyrus the Great. Visualize the enduring connections and the lasting legacy he left behind.
This is why he's called great.
8th century BC had dawned in dark.
Once again, I say, when he says that Jewish term, he's talking about these folks, the Hebrew Israelites. They're like wool, skin like brass burned in a furnace. He's not talking about anybody else, okay?
Their kingdom, Judah, had fallen to the mighty Babylonian Empire.
Jeremiah 14:2, Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. They are black unto the ground.
Nebuchadnezzar II, the Babylonian king, destroyed Jerusalem and its magnificent temple, the heart of Jewish religious and cultural life.
The heart of the...
Thousands of Jews were forced...
The heart of the Jews, our temple, the heart of our belief and spiritual system.
...forcibly marched hundreds of miles east of Babylon. This exile, known as the Babylonian captivity, was a period of immense suffering and despair for the Jews. They yearned for their homeland.
He finally said it right, the Jews.
For the familiar rhythms of their lives, for the solace of their God in their own sacred space. Their songs became laments, their prayers filled with longing for Zion, a synonym for Jerusalem and for their lost homeland. The Babylonians, though not deliberately cruel, practiced a policy of assimilation. They expected the Jews to adopt Babylonian customs and gods.
See, this is that Hellenization thing that the Greeks and the Europeans are so well known for, assimilating other people into their culture. You got to be like us. That's why people in America get so mad when black folks don't be patriotic, because they feel like we are the ultimate epitome of a Hellenized people.
To gradually forget their own heritage. Yet, the Jewish people clung fiercely to their faith, their traditions, the dream of...
There you go again. Like I said, remember, he's talking about these folks.
In 539 BC, Cyrus the Great conquered Babylon. This victory marked a new era for Babylonians and captive Jews. Cyrus respected diverse cultures within his empire. He knew a content populace was a stable one. He adopted religious tolerance, allowing freedom of worship. This had a profound impact on the Jews in Babylon. For the first time in decades, they dared to hope. Edict of Cyrus. In 538 BC, Cyrus issued a proclamation that would echo through history. Known as the Edict of Cyrus, it permitted exiled peoples to return and reconstruct their temples. For the Jews, this was extraordinary. The edict, inscribed on a clay cylinder in the British Museum, is a testament to his enlightened governance. Cyrus even sanctioned royal funds for the temple in Jerusalem. This act reinforced Jewish faith.
That's right. He commissioned dollars to help our people rebuild our temple. This temple that they in this third temple that they said it's never going to happen. The land is trodden down by heathens. They will be there until the time of the heathens is at its end. Read the book, man. Read the prophecies. You will understand better. You ever heard of the Khazarians, the Khazars? Look them up. You'll have a better understanding about things. You need to study. You're not going to understand nothing if you don't go study, man. All that history that you slept through in school, don't get me wrong, a lot of it was useless, but some of it had key points that will help you put the puzzle together. But you got to study.
And laid the groundwork for the Second Temple period. A return to...
So yeah, man, something like that. Something like that. I just want to give y'all a quick rundown real quick on a quick history of the Iranian people and the way they dealt with us as a people. From ancient time to 1979, they've been, don't get me wrong, it was a time that we was in slavery under Medes and Persians as well. But Cyrus did a great thing. When he conquered Babylon, he did a great thing. He released us, told us we can go home. You understand? The Ayatollah Khomeini, during the siege, he released us, told us we can go home. You understand? So, yeah, man, that's just a quick history of us and these people that they expect us to hate. Not gonna happen, man. We ain't none of the Saudi Arabians, bro. Black people in America, out of everybody in America, we the main people here that this government, this establishment, this regime ain't got no business telling us who the fuck our enemies are. We know who our enemies are. Never trust thy enemy. Like iron is sure to rust, so is their wickedness. Guaranteed to return, though their words are smoother than butter. War is in their heart. Iran just got made well aware of that being true when it comes to these people. You understand? And I'm just keeping it 400. People can say what they want, man. It is what it is. That's why they refusing to do another ceasefire. They did that with y'all after the 12-day war, just to get attacked again. They in negotiations, y'all attack them. We ain't doing that no more. Y'all thought they was gonna be weak. Y'all thought this was gonna be an easy run. Y'all thought Iran was Venezuela. No. It gets wrong this time. Now, any of us who understand anything about ancient civilizations, ancient militaries and stuff like that, yeah, we know the Persians fought the Romans for like 700 years. Okay? Every nation that done went in there and tried to conquer the Persian people, Great Britain failed. The Mongols, out of all people, failed. Out of Saddam Hussein, America's puppet, their dog of the Middle East, he failed. With his life. You understand? So, yeah. Am I saying God is with them? No. I'm saying God chooses the kings that he chooses. He chooses to give the kingdoms to who he chooses. He divided the children of Adam. Everybody received their lot. He chose one above all. And it ain't them motherfuckers that's over there in the land of Jerusalem right now. Damn. I need to do some studying, man. We just seen the Babylonians took us into slavery. Go do some educating on that, and read up and see who was saying raise it to the ground when they was destroying our kingdom. They was burning all the buildings, destroying the temple. Look up who were the people on the sidelines saying raise it to the foundation. It's the exact same motherfuckers that's over there right now claiming to be the people of the land. I need to do some studying and show thyself approved, man, a workman who need not be ashamed, righteously divide the words of truth. Just telling you, man. And on some real stuff, dog, this cartoon says it all. Take a good look at that. That cartoon says it all. Qatar, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates. I don't really know about Oman because I believe they was helping with the negotiations. But all those Arab nations that got American military bases in them who got hit by Iran, they was all in the background thinking that it's gonna work. Raise it to the foundation. They was the sideliners, throwing money in it. Now that the missiles done came back, boom, 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 the money is on fire. You spending millions to take down drones that cost a couple of 10,000s, maybe 100,000, something like that. But you're spending dollars and they spending pennies, man. They playing a long game, and they've been waiting for it and prepping for it for a long time. Now, we're not gonna get caught off guard like these other nations. Y'all just showed up, invaded all of a sudden. You know how many times Israel done just blasted us for nothing? Trump took out their general in his first term on GP. No real reasoning behind it, none of that. They've been getting ready for you. That's why when y'all took out the leadership, it immediately got replaced with new leadership that are low-key more aggressive than the leadership that you put to death, that you unalived. This is real talk, man. It's getting more and more interesting, man. We got more videos to come. Hey, man, it's been fun, man. Love y'all to death. Love y'all to life. Y'all already know y'all ain't here with y'all boy, Bam Bam Belly Young. Wanna watch Three Sons, dog. Represent the East Side ours, because the East Side is ours. Yo, John Major for justice, because there is no justice for just us. Love y'all to death, love y'all to life, man. I'm just saying, y'all better stay, y'all better get ready. So y'all better stay ready, y'all have to get ready. Chance favors the prepared mind, though, unfortunately, for my people. A lot of us are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. We all in Houston doing rodeo folly. Running around here acting like the whole world ain't crumbling around you. You truly are God's chosen. But you think you're finna just be, you gonna see salvation just because you're the chosen? It don't work that. Faith without works is dead. God gave us laws, statutes, and commandments to live by. We don't have no free will. We've been taught and lied to believe that we have free will. Other people have free will. We don't. God gave us his laws, us. That book, that entire book, every chapter, every prophet belonged to us. It's holy, it's Kardash. Nobody was ever supposed to touch it. They got their hands on our book, got their dumbasses thinking Paul talking to them. What the fuck? See what happened when people get their hands on information that was never meant for them? They'll do one or two things. They'll try to assimilate it to themselves, or they'll destroy it because they know that, nah, this don't belong to us. They knew that, and they should have destroyed it, but they couldn't because you can't destroy the word of God. But hey, out of all I getting, get the understanding. But how much knowledge you get, if you ain't got understanding to help you know what to do with that knowledge, you ain't got the wisdom which comes with experience to help you understand what to do with that knowledge. Yeah, you need all the elements, ladies and gentlemen, all of them. But you ain't gonna get them just sitting on your ass. But yo, like I said, man, your boy Bam Bam Belly Young, one of Watch Street Sons. It's been fun, dog. Love y'all to death, love y'all to life. Catch y'all at the next show, man. Till then, live it to die and die to live again. 360 degrees, comprehend, whether it be here or in the kingdom, we all gonna see each other again. It won't be long. Peace, man. Peace and love. See y'all there. See y'all the next time. Out later.
What's going on, Watts, where we are taught to survive. And just like the phoenix from our own ashes, we rise. What's happening, family? Thanks for tuning in. We all we got, representing Eastside Watts tenfold.